Hello, Cliff Temple. I am so grateful to be able to make this little video on the anniversary of 125 years of ministry. I think of that Galatians passage often that says, I thank God every time I remember you. We are so grateful for the 10 years that we had in Dallas. I served there from 2010 to 2020. It's the place where our kids were nurtured. When we moved there, Emily was in the 3rd grade, Christopher in the 7th grade. It's the place where Jen had a great opportunity serving at Dallas Methodist Medical Center. And you know, I just look at all those 10 years, and I just have such a sense of thankfulness as I think of you and as I remember you in my prayers. I want to say, first of all, thank you for loving our family well. I feel so grateful for the relationships that we had at Cliff Temple. I feel so grateful for the way that we shared life together over 10 years and saw some amazing things happen. And I can say without a shadow of a doubt, the best things that happened in those 10 years of ministry didn't have anything to do with me. It was God's work, and often God's surprising way of working among us that really still gives me a sense of amazement. I was asked to talk a little bit about legacy, but I'm not really comfortable doing that because, you know, pastors come for a season, we serve in different ways. It's really about the work of the church that's now taken place at Cliff Temple going into its 13th decade. But I want to share just a couple of things that I'm especially proud of that happened during those 10 years of ministry. The first one is that we prayed together. We launched a new prayer ministry on Tuesday nights, gathering anywhere from 15 to 20 people. It was never a really big crowd, but the prayer was wonderful. And we bonded during that time over several years where we would pray for particular needs that people would have, health needs and mental illness needs. We would pray for our community. We would pray for Mission Oak Cliff and on and on. And those times were so sweet. You know, prayer really is the foundation of all the work of the people of God. Cliff Temple's foundation story comes from that idea of Joe English, Jesus only. But how will we put Jesus first and Jesus only if we're not praying and getting to know the heart of Jesus? So I'm really proud that we prayed together. Second, I'm proud that we stayed together. We went through a lot of changes, a lot of ups and downs, launching a second service and moving through some building renovations. We had some people come and some people go. We experienced the death of some wonderful, wonderful people. And we saw the birth of many children that I'm so glad to see still thriving at Cliff Temple. And through all that, we stayed together. You know, unity is really the trick in terms of the people of God working well together. Because there's always going to be difficult seasons. There's always going to be conflict. But the question is, how do you move through that? And do you stay together? Do you stick together? And I believe that we did by and large. And I don't take any credit for that. I give credit to the Spirit of God and to the people of Cliff Temple for really sticking together for a better day. And lastly, I'm really proud that we built some things together. We created some new things, one of them being the Neighborhood Network. I'm thankful for all those relationships that began to fan out into the neighborhoods to reach people that might not come into the doors of a church. I'm grateful for you giving me the time to be able to launch that, investing a lot of time in really growing that concept. And I'm really proud of that Neighborhood Network developing. We built that together, and it was the natural byproduct of us being everyday missionaries. But then we also did some renovations. We, over the span of 10 years, invested over $7 million in addition to our regular budget to update our fellowship hall, put in the cafe, the new children's area, the sanctuary renovation. I remember the first project we did, which was the little sort of space between the sunset entrance door and the lobby, and how hard it was to get that thing over the finish line. But you know, once we did that renovation, it seemed just natural that we were doing more and more things. Space isn't everything, but space does tend to define you, and I believe that we were building a good home for the future of Cliff Temple. We built some things together. I want to thank you for supporting me through all my mistakes and failures. I want to thank you for putting up with a lot of bad preaching. I want to thank you for the love that you showed to me again and again. I'm never going to forget that. I also want to say a blessing over Gannon Sims. He is a great man of God, and he is the one to lead Cliff Temple in this next season of ministry. I know that you are loving him and supporting him just as you did for me over 10 years. So I bless him, and I thank God that he is there and continuing on to this wonderful, wonderful church. If Jen were here on the video today, she would want me to say to you that we both love you, and we're praying for you as you move through this special celebration. May God bless you.